Hey everyone, welcome. So today we are jumping into a really big question, one that you hear all the time. Is Islam actually compatible with the modern world? Or is there some kind of conflict there? Well, we're going to dig into the source material and see what it has to say.
All right, let's just put it right out there. Is Islam against the modern era? It's this idea you hear a lot, that to be modern, you kind of have to leave religion in the rearview mirror, and that Islam specifically is a faith that's just stuck in the past.
But the sources we're looking at, they argue something completely different. The whole idea is that Islam is meant to be a timeless faith, one that's designed to guide humanity no matter what era we're in. We're talking from the age of the camel all the way to the age of the internet.
Okay, so before we can even get into this properly, we have to get our definition straight. This is super important. The source material draws a really clear line in the sand between two words people often mix up: modernity and westernization.
So let's break this down. Modernization, that's all about grabbing new knowledge, new technology, things that make our lives better. Stuff like computers, modern medicine, you name it. But westernization, that's something else entirely. That's about just blindly copying Western cultural norms without thinking. And the argument here is that Islam is all for modernization, but it warns against that kind of blind imitation. And this quote from Mufti Taqi Usmani really hits the nail on the head. He says Islam is not an opponent of modern tools and science, but a critic of their misuse or the immoral values that come with them. See, the problem isn't the tool, it's how you use it. It's not about being anti-progress, it's about being pro-ethics.
All right, now let's jump into the history, because this is where things get really interesting. Think about it. If Islam was truly anti-progress, its history would be a total wasteland when it comes to science, right? But the evidence, well, it tells a completely different story.
This is a wild fact. The very first command, the first word revealed in the Quran, wasn't pray or fast. It was Iqra, read. That single word, that emphasis on seeking knowledge, is absolutely central to this whole conversation.
And that one command, read, it literally sparked a scientific revolution. For hundreds of years, while Europe was going through its dark ages, the Muslim world was a blazing beacon of learning and discovery. It produced absolute giants of science, names you should know, like Al-Khwarizmi, Ibn al-Haytham, and Avicenna.
So let's talk about Al-Khwarizmi. This guy was a Persian mathematician who came up with a whole new systematic way to solve equations. And the name he gave his method? Algebra. Sound familiar? Yep, that's where we get the word algebra. And here's the kicker, the part that connects directly to your life right now. The system he invented, this concept of an algorithm, it is the literal foundation for all modern computer programming. Every app on your phone, every website you visit, it all goes back to his work. There's a straight line from 9th century Baghdad to the phone in your hand.
Okay, next up, another genius, Ibn al-Haytham. This man was a true pioneer of the scientific method as we know it. He conducted these incredible experiments on light and vision that just completely blew the old Greek ideas out of the water.
And again, check out this connection to today. His discoveries about how light works, how it forms an image, those are the basic principles behind every single camera in existence. The one on your phone, the ones that film movies, even the Hubble Space Telescope. It all started with him.
And it wasn't just math and physics, not by a long shot. Let's talk medicine. Avicenna wrote this medical encyclopedia called The Canon of Medicine. It was so groundbreaking, so comprehensive, that it was used as the standard medical textbook in European universities for, get this, over 600 years. Just think about that.
So what's the takeaway here? It's that history completely flips the script on this idea of a conflict. The evidence is overwhelming. For centuries, Islam wasn't a barrier to progress. It was the engine.
Okay, so that's the history, which is amazing. But what about now? How does a 1,400-year-old faith deal with stuff its founders couldn't possibly have imagined? Things like Bitcoin or artificial intelligence. Well, the answer lies in this incredible intellectual tool that's built right into the tradition.
And that tool is called ijtihad. Basically, it's the process where scholars use reason and research, guided by the Quran and Sunnah, to figure out solutions for brand new, contemporary problems. Now, of course, how and when to apply it is a huge debate among scholars. But the point is, this is the very mechanism that keeps the faith alive and relevant.
The great poet-philosopher Allama Iqbal had this beautiful way of describing it. He called it the principle of movement in Islam. It's like the intellectual engine that keeps the faith from becoming static, that ensures it can keep moving forward with time.
And listen, this is not just some abstract theory. This is happening right now. Islamic scholars are using ijtihad to tackle some of the most complex issues of our time. Look at Islamic banking, for instance. They needed to create a modern financial system that works without interest, which is forbidden, so they used this process to build it. From cryptocurrency to organ transplants to AI, ijtihad is actively shaping the conversation in the Muslim world today.
But it's not just about adapting to new things. What's really fascinating is how the source material argues that these timeless Islamic principles actually offer proactive solutions for some of the biggest problems we're facing today.
I mean, just look at this. You've got the environmental crisis, right? Well, Islamic teachings have always pushed this idea of being guardians of the earth, where planting a tree is a charity and wasting water is a big deal. Or what about the mental health crisis? The tradition points to the focus and peace you can find in prayer and remembrance as a powerful tool. And when it comes to women's rights, the faith established rights to property, inheritance, and education for women 1,400 years ago, providing a framework that's still relevant.
So, where does that leave us? After looking at the history, the principles, the whole shebang, what does the path forward actually look like? What does it mean to be modern, successful, and faithful all at the same time?
Well, the sources we're looking at lay out a pretty clear three-part approach. Number one, you balance your faith with modern tools. Think of it as the Quran in one hand and a laptop in the other. Number two, you go after progress in this world, but you never forget your spiritual purpose, why you're here. And number three, you look at science not as something that contradicts faith, but as a tool to better understand the beauty and complexity of God's creation.
And we'll leave you with this one last, really powerful image from the sources. It's the idea that Islam is the religion that guides humanity from the mosque pulpit to the space station. The point is, it isn't something stuck in the past or confined to one building. It's a set of principles designed to be a guide for the future, wherever that future takes us. Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.